Good morning, and welcome to the Food for Thought Sports Betting Picks and Analysis. Thank you for joining me. Again, I'm going to go back to our usual format and just give you a breakdown and a preview of the games, and then I'll follow up later on today with my picks. So this is Food for Thought games we're going to go through, so stuff to think about over the morning for the analysis and leans for today's games. Okay, we're going to start off with the NBA, the National Basketball Association. First game up, Chicago Bulls versus the Charlotte Hornets. The line opened up at 6. The total is 227.5. So we're going to look into this game in further depth for tonight's game. So as we're going to look at the head-to-head meeting between Chicago and Charlotte. Head-to-head, 8-2 for the Bulls in the last 10 games. 8-2 against the spread for the Bulls, head-to-head. And the over-under in this game for the last 10, head-to-head, 3-7 to the under. In general, Chicago, the last 10 games in general against other competition, 5-5. 4-5 to the against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Charlotte, against other competition, 1-9 in the last 10 games, 3-7 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. So as we look further into this game, we notice here that these two teams have played earlier this month. They did play. This game was in Chicago. And at that time, the line was 5.5. The total was 232. The Bulls took the first game. So in the second game here, the total has gone down by 6 points to 226.5. So that's the thing that we've noticed. Now looking at this game further, we're looking at the trends here. Just lately, the late trends between these two teams in terms of the over-under. So, yeah, so for the most part, the Bulls, the over-under is 4-6, last 5. The last 5 have gone 1-4 to the under. Charlotte, they're tilting towards the under as well. Their last 5, 1-4 to the under. So I can see why the total has gone down by 6 points, and we know it's at least the last 5 games, 5 to 10 games, both teams are trending towards the under. So my opinion on this game would be to lean towards the under the total. The current line now, that didn't give you the current line. It's now 5.5, 220. It's 226. We're seeing some 226s, 226.5. Now there is popping up at 225.5, but for now it's 226. That's the overall number, 226.5. So that's the majority right now. So if you like the under, I would try to grab this number now. Grab the 226 before it gets to 225 if you like the under. If you like the over, you may want to wait a little bit to get a better number to shop around. That's for that game. Now as for the side, in this game here, it's now 5.5, 5. Let's see. Let's just see what's happening for the Bulls. 4-5 against the spread. They have actually lost. They had lost 3 straight. Won their last game against Milwaukee. The side here is a tough call. Let's see. The Bulls. They did cover Charlotte. They did cover them as a 5.5 point favorite in December. They did cover the spread 5.5. Can they duplicate it again? Let me see. Let me see how much better Charlotte has played. They did cover OKC in their last game. That was actually yesterday. Looks like yesterday they played, and they covered that 13.5. But keep in mind, Charlotte has lost 7 straight games. Yeah, they lost 7 to 8 straight games they've lost. And in that losing streak, they're lacking offensively. Their offensive proficiency is not up to par. It's not up to par at all. It's pretty much below par. So they're lacking offensively. This game's a pass. I'm passing on the side because teams on a losing streak of this magnitude, they're desperate. These are pretty much desperate teams on a losing streak. So when you're losing like in this fashion, these are the most dangerous teams. They're dangerous because they're desperate for a win. So to pick a side or a spread, I'm not touching this game. This game is a complete pass. I'll just lean to the under. So we'll move on to the next game. The next game here, as we pull up the odds screen, is going to be the New York Knicks versus the Washington Wizards. The opening line is 10.5 for New York. They're favored by 10.5. The total is 228.5. That is the current total now. I'm sure that's the opening. The opening total 228.5. The current line now is sitting at 230. I'm seeing some 231s and 230.5. So 230. So 231. 231.5. So it's mainly at 230.5, although we are seeing some 231s. So if you like the over, try and get the 230.5 now before it gets to 231, because some books already are moving in that direction. If you like the under, I would wait. I would wait a little bit to until the line goes further and further, if you like the under. Okay, so we're going to look further into this game and to have matchups between Washington and the New York Knicks. So we look at the matchup here, and we are seeing for this game the last 10 meetings, head-to-head, 9-1 favoring New York. Against the spread, they're 6-4 against the spread against Washington, 3-7 towards the under. They've already played twice already, and the Knicks won the first meeting in New York as a 14-point favorite. The total at that time was 233. It sailed over. Second meeting, December 28th. They just played a few days ago. And this is in Washington. It went to overtime. The total was 225.5. But Washington covered the 13. They were 13-point dogs, and they covered. So now they're playing again today. This is a back-to-back, actually. So it's very strange how the NBA has scheduled these games this year. How teams are playing back-to-back, or they're playing in the same arena, the same teams, a day after. It's very strange how it's set up. Nothing much to say about this. Myself personally, I would take the over again. I don't see anything changing within the last 24 to 48 hours between these two teams. I would take the over. In terms of the spread, it all depends how motivated New York is to play Washington again for a second time in 24 to 48 hours. Depends on their motivation to see if they're actually going to cover the 13. They didn't cover the other day. Now they do have. I do have to let you know. Do you have Utah? They got the Utah Jazz. This is a look ahead spot because they got Utah New Year's Day on January the 1st. Now they lost to the Jazz before, so this is a look ahead spot. So from that standpoint, I would lean towards the over. And since this is a look ahead spot and a sandwich spot, I would take the Washington Wizards and the 13 plus 13. Now keep in mind the Wizards have covered 2 straight games. Charlotte and I know Charlotte's a bottom feeder, so I don't know how much that accounts for, but they did cover them. Cover the Knicks. They got to play the Knicks again. Yeah, I would take the 13. I'd take the I take plus 11.5 Washington. I'd lean that way, and over the total. So that's the way I would go. I would do that. Right now, the next game we're going to look at is the LA Clippers versus the New Orleans Pelicans. So this line opened up at minus 6 for the Clippers. Total's 221. So the current line now, we are seeing right now, some books have a 7. We do have 5.5. Other books have that as well. But mainly right now it's staying at 6. I mean, a lot of 6s. That's the total. That's the consensus 6. And then the total for the consensus here is 221. That's the consensus right now. So this one really hasn't moved much. This Pelicans line, it hasn't moved. So let's look at the odds here for this game. Pelicans and Clippers head to head. 8-2 again. 8-2 in the last 10. New Orleans is controlling the series. 2-8 against the spread. New Orleans, and 2-8 to the under. So this has been an under series. Last 4 meetings have gone under. Clippers, in general, 6-4 against the spread last 10 meetings, and against other opposition. 6-4 against the spread last 10 meetings. 4-6 to the under. So they've gone under in general 4 straight times. We do have the Pelicans, 1-9 the last 10 meetings, 4-6 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. The Pelicans have gone over 3 straight games. So this one here, now keep in mind the Pelicans are on a losing streak too, just like Charlotte.
Alert.
They have lost, looks like 9 to 10 straight games. They're sliding pretty badly. So I wouldn't. The only way I can look is the only way I can look. I know the Clippers have covered. They've won 2 straight. They're playing better. They've covered 3 straight as a favorite. As a favorite, they've covered 3 in a row. Let's see. Yeah, the only way I can look, I can only take New Orleans. I can only take the Clippers in this game, minus 5.5. That's the only way I can look at towards this. Clippers and the under. That's the only. I would lean the Clippers.
Alert.
And I would lean to the under. I can't look any other way. Now I'm gonna go through. I didn't go through the player props. My mistake. I should have done that. I didn't go through the player props. but I will do that. I will get to that now for this game and the other games that we missed out for the player props. I forgot to mention that. I forgot to go through those player props with you. So I'm going to go back to those. So we'll start off with the Clippers and the Pelicans for the player props. We'll look into that now. Look for some opportunities. I know there's a lot of handlers that like the player props. So we'll definitely look into that. Let's see. We'll see anything that stands out for player props. Okay, Norman Powell, 24.5 points. He's cleared this number 5 straight times. So that's a hot prop. Norman Powell over 24.5 points. Very good prop. This is even good too. 2.5 threes, Norman Powell. Norman Powell has hit this number 3 of the last 5 times. He's cleared this number. 2.5 threes for Norman Powell. Let's see. Yeah, rebounds 3.5. He's cleared this number 3 in the last 5 for rebounds. So that's another good one. So Norman Powell, and another good one here. The one that I would take the most, I would take points and assists. Now, this is 26.5. This is probably the best prop for Powell that I would consider. He has cleared this number 4 out of the 5 times. Points and assists, Norman Powell. So the last 3 times he's cleared it, this is the one I would go for. The points and assists. So he's making his shots, and he's basically a big distributor on the offensive end besides scoring. So that's the one I would look at, points and assists. That's a very good prop for Norman Powell. It's a hot prop. That's one I would take. James Harden. Nothing consistent about Harden. I don't see anything there. Nope, nothing there. Yeah, really, I don't see anything for Harden. That stands out. But Norman Powell's a good one for the Clippers. I like what he's doing. Now for the Pelicans, C.J. McCollum, 3.5 assists. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times, so I would take C.J. McCollum. That's one I would take. So another one that you may want to consider as well. You can look at points, rebounds, and assists. This is a big one. So this is 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. C.J. McCollum. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So that's probably the one I would consider more value and upside there for C.J. McCollum. That's for the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's see anything else that stands out. We got Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy the third. 20.5 points. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Assists over 2.5. So he's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times for the assists. So for Trey Murphy the third, you're gonna want to look at points and assists. That's the best one. That's the one I would chase. Points and assists. Points and assists. He's 23.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times, including the last time he had 39 points and assists combined. 39. So that's the one. That's the one I would, if I'm looking for a good prop, that's the one I would go after for Trey Murphy the third. So let's keep that in mind this morning. Zubak. Zubak 15 points. Last 4 meetings. He's cleared us 4 of the last 5 meetings. Zubak. Rebounds. 12.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So you're gonna want to look at points and rebounds. Look at the points and rebounds. That's the one I would look at. Points and rebounds. So 28.5. He's cleared this 3 of the last 5 times for points and rebounds. So if you want more value, that's something to consider. If not, you can just do points. If you want to play it safe, 15.5 points, 4 of the last 5. Zubak has gone over. Kevin Porter. Okay, Kevin Porter, you're going to want to consider points, rebounds, and assists for Kevin Porter. The number is 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's cleared this 3 of the last 5 times he has cleared this number. So you're going to want to consider that for Kevin Porter Jr. if you're looking for a prop on him. That's all for that game for the Pelicans and the Clippers. If you're looking for props, that's all that we have for that game. Now, as far as the Knicks and Washington for props, these guys are just played. Well, so it depends on the motivation here, how motivated the players are, because they played each other a few days ago. So let's go over some general props. Cat, Karl Anthony Towns. Let's see for him. Nothing of consistency for Karl Anthony Towns for me for any props. I don't see anything on him. Brunson. Yeah, Brunson's good here. Brunson points 25.5. 3 of the last 5 he's cleared. Assists 7.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So you're gonna want to do points, assists, and rebounds. This is actually a good one for Brunson. This one stands out like a sore thumb. The clearing number for him is 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. 3 of the last 5 games, he has gone over the total, including the last game against Washington. He had 67 points, rebounds, and assists altogether combined. So again, it depends on the motivation of the Knicks. So before considering that prop, I would just think about the motivation on this. How motivated are they to play these guys again after being them a few times already? On the Washington side, Jordan Poole didn't play in the last game. He is expected to play today. Before that, the last meeting, 21 points was the number for him. He has cleared this number 4 of the last 5 meetings, or 4 of the last 5 times he's cleared this number. Rebounds 2.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. So for Jordan Poole, you're going to want to consider points, rebounds, and assists. It's 29.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. He didn't clear it the last game. I guess he didn't play. So he is expected to play tonight. So I would look into that. I would do points, rebounds, and assists for Jordan Poole. So that's the one I would definitely look at. That one stands out like a sore thumb. I would do that one. Chicago, Charlotte for props. Let's see. Zach LaVine. Let's see what stands out with him. Clearing number 3.5 assists for Zach LaVine. He's cleared this number at 3.5. 4 of the last 5 times he has cleared this number. 3-pointers. The number is 2.5. He's cleared this number 3 in the last 5 times. Zach LaVine. So let's see. So you're going to want to consider points and assists for Zach LaVine. He's got 26.5 as the clearing number. He's hit this one 2 of the last 5 times. So he missed it. The last game he missed it by about 5 points. But I would still consider this one. I like this one a lot. Even though he missed it, the game before he got 44 combined points and assists, and he missed it by like I said by 5 points. I would still take it. This is probably the one I would take, points and assists. Zach LaVine. That's what I would consider taking that. Vucevic for the Bulls. Okay, so 3-pointers over 1.5. That's a projected number. He's cleared this number 3 in the last 5 times. So yeah, I would take that. I would go. That's Vucevic for 3s. I would take that. I'm considering taking that myself. Vucevic. He's been every time I've taken him, he's been solid. For the 1.5 threes, he's been good. That's what I'm considering for this afternoon. Kobe White. Nothing of consistency from him, so I'm not gonna advise you to take any of his plays. Josh Giddey. Nothing there. Nothing of consistency. It looks like the Zach LaVine prop. That stands out in the Vucevic for the Bulls. Now for Charlotte, as bad as they are, because they're pretty bad. Man. You're gonna want to consider Miles Bridges. He's the only bright spot on that team. Points, rebounds, and assists. 34.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times, including the last game he cleared it. 35 points, rebounds, and assists. So he's the only one that's really standing out and trying to make things happen for the team. So I would consider Miles Bridges if you're looking at props. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next game here. Let's see. Denver versus Utah. So we'll get to that game now. Denver versus Utah, and I will do the props. I won't forget about the props. Right now, it's the opening line for this game, -8.5 Denver. Total 237.5. The current total, where it stands now, it's 240. The consensus is 240. 240 is the consensus. Um, and for the spread, the majority of the line on the spread is 7. So 7 and 240. That's where it stands at the majority of the markets. So we're going to look into this game in further detail for Denver versus Utah. So we're looking at the head-to-head matchups. So when we look into that, we're going to see here in the last 10 meetings, head-to-head 7-3. Denver's controlling that. 5-5 against the spread. So it's even. 4-6 to the under in this series. They have played twice already. They played twice last month. First meeting was in Denver. They were 11-point favorites at the time. Went over the total. They covered easily. Second meeting was November 27th in Utah. Denver was a 10.5-point favorite at that time. Total was 228.5, and it went under the total. So Denver in general, last 10 meetings in general, 6-4 record, 5-5 against the spread, 6-3 to the over. Utah last 10, 3-7, 6-4 against the spread, 9-1 to the over. And Utah's last 3 straight games, but they have covered 3 in a row. They've covered 5 straight games as an underdog. But keep in mind, the games that they've covered, they were against, the majority of those games were against Eastern Conference opponents. Only 2 were Western Conference opponents. Jazz have been going over the total. Their offense has been ticking up. Again, 9-1 to the over. Last 5, 4-1 to the over. So down the line's 240. We said 240, so it's gone up a bit, and I can see why. Jazz are putting on an offensive show. They really are picking it up on offense. I understand why that total's gone up. It's justified too, based on how they've been playing lately. That number has gone up. Denver, the last 2 games have gone over as well. I would definitely look to the over in this game, without a doubt. I'd look to the over. Over for sure. I'd lean that way. For sure. I would look at the over, and Utah, I believe, I like Utah to cover at home. I like them covering at home. They've been a good home dog. They've been covering pretty well. Phoenix, they struggled. Philly, they covered. I would lean Utah at home. Denver, I know they beat Detroit, but still, they look a bit off to me. They haven't been really covering on the road too. That's another problem with Denver. They haven't really been covering on the road, so that's a big concern. Yeah, they've covered at home, but on the road, they haven't shown me that they can cover on the road. So I would take Utah to cover the points, and I'd take the over. That's my lean, and that's my suggestion. Might get to the window with that, not sure. But it's something I'm considering for this afternoon. So that's for that game. Now we're going to look at the props. So I'm going to see if there's any hot props in this game. Denver, Utah, Jokic. For threes, he's for 3-point shooting. His projection's 1.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times, so I would definitely look at that. Rebounds. Rebounds is 11.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings, or 3 of the last 5 times. That's another thing I would consider. Now, if you're looking for better value, I would definitely look at Jokic's points, rebounds, and assists. This man's been killing it from the jump in this category. So if you're looking for better value for props, the projected number is 49.5. This man has cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings. So this is something I would definitely consider, and I would actually take that because he's been very, very consistent here. So, and especially in the last 2 times, he's gone combined 54 points for points, rebounds, and assists. 54, the last two games. So I would definitely consider that. That's something that I might play that myself as a prop. Jamal Murray, points 22.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Let's see here. Another one you want to consider is points and assists. This one is 29.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So points and assists is probably the better way to go for Jamal Murray. Porter Jr. His points is 18.5 points. That's the target. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings. Porter Jr. This is for 3-point shooting. Projected number for Porter Jr. 2.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings. Points, rebounds, and assists. Porter Jr. 27.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So that's something that you're going to want to consider as well for points, rebounds, and assists for better value on props. Or better yet, you can do points and rebounds again. If you don't want to do points, rebounds, and assists, points and rebounds 24.5. So he's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings. He's cleared 3 of the last 5 games. He has cleared this number. So points and rebounds, those are the 2 to consider, or points, rebounds, and assists for Porter Jr. So on the Utah side, Lauri Markkanen for Utah. 24.5 the points. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times for Lauri Markkanen. Yeah, so the points is something to consider. Again, 24.5. He's cleared this 3 in the last 5 times for Markkanen. The thing that really stands out for consistency, Markkanen's probably the only one. Sexton, Colin Sexton, 19.5 points. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. Colin Sexton. Assists 4.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the all five times. 5 of the last 5 games, Sexton has cleared this number. 3-point shooting, over 1. It's 1.5. The projected number. He's cleared this in all 5 the last 5 games. So there's some value here with Sexton. Let's see. There are many options here. You can look at points, rebounds, and assists. 27.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 games. Points and assists, 24.5. 4 of the last 5 games he's gone over. Points, rebounds, 22.5. He's gone over this 3 in the last 5 meetings, or 3 in the last 5 games. Assists and rebounds, 7.5. He's cleared this number 4 of the last 5 times. So that's stuff to consider for Colin Sexton on the Utah Jazz. That's it. Nothing else really stands out. Russell Westbrook for assists, 6.5. He's gone over this number 3 in the last 5 meetings. So nothing else really stands out. That's it for that game. that's it. Philadelphia, Portland. That's the next game. This one here, the line for this game has opened up 6.5 Philadelphia, total 223.5. The current line now sits at, we're seeing a lot of 5.5. So it's 5.5, total 222.5. That's the consensus where the line sits. So we'll look more into this game for the head-to-head. That's Portland Trailblazers and the Philadelphia 76ers. Head-to-head, 5-5. Against the spread, 4-5. Portland, and then over under 8-2 last 10 meetings. Let's see here. Phillies won 3 in a row, including 2 on the road trip. So they're 7-3 in the last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 5-4 to the over. Portland 3-7 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. Portland's gone over 3 straight times, but 2 of the 3 times they played Dallas twice. So in this case here, the only way I would look, I would take the over. Both teams are trending towards the over 223.5. I would take the over. In terms of the side or the spread, I have no opinion on that because Philly, I have no opinion on that at all. Sixers haven't really covered on the road, so I have no opinion on that game. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll pass on the spread. No thoughts on that. Just I would go over the total in this game. Both teams are playing are doing good offensively. I would do that. And in terms of the props, Joel Embiid. Projected number for points over 28.5. He's gone over this number 2 of the last 5 meetings, but he was out one of the games too. He had an injury or a suspension or something of that nature, but he's back. He put up 32 last game. So I expect that to continue tonight. As long as he's not injured, I expect him to hit that number. Assists 3.5 for Embiid. He went over last game. Another thing I would consider is points, and I would look at his points and assists. Points and assists for Embiid is 33.5. Now he only cleared the number 2 of the last 5 meetings, but the last 2 games he's come on strong. 36 he cleared points and assists combined. That was the last game against Utah on the road. And then the game against Boston, that was Christmas Day. Points and assists, he had 29 in the Christmas Day game. I know he fell short by about 5 points, but I would still look at points and assists for Embiid. I looked him to have a good game against Portland. No one can stop Embiid on Portland. So I can see Embiid feasting with the points and assists. I would definitely take that. I would consider that. Tyrese Maxey, points 27.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings. 3-pointers, 3.5. He's cleared that number 4 of the last 5 times. That's 3.5 projected. 3-pointers, Maxey. Points and assists. This is one I would consider for Maxi. Points and assists is the big one here. This is 33.5. So he has cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So that's for Maxi. This is the one I would consider for him against Portland. Points and assists. That's the one to target. On the let's see, on the Portland side. Let's see anything that stands out. Anthony Simons, points, rebounds, and assists, 27.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So that's one I would definitely look at. Or if you don't want to do that, you have assists and rebounds, Anthony Simons, 8.5. 3 of the last 5 times he's hit that as well. So I would consider those two angles for Anthony Simons. Paul George props, nothing there yet. I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Yeah, I don't see anything. That's it. Nothing else that really stands out for this game for preps. I'm not seeing anything here. Yeah, I don't see anything here. So Cleveland Golden State's the next game. So Golden State's the current line now. 3.5 Cleveland favored. The total's 231.5. That was the opening line. The current line right now is 5. That the consensus is 5. 5. And the total's 230. So that's where it stands right now for that game. Cavaliers are red hot. One of the hottest teams in the league. So head-to-head with Golden State's 7-3. Golden State's head-to-head 3-7 against the spread. Golden State 4-6 to the under. Now these two teams played a month ago in Cleveland. Cleveland was a 3.5-point favorite, and they covered and won, and it went over the total. Last 2 meetings have gone over. And just in general right now, the Cavaliers have won 6 straight games, 6 in a row. And they've covered, out of the 6 games, they've covered 4 games against the spread out of the 6. So they're red hot. Golden State, they ended a 3-game losing streak. They ended a 3-game losing streak and beat Phoenix 109-105. But they did not cover the spread. For me, for this game here, I would definitely take the over. Cleveland's offense has been unstoppable, so I would definitely take the over 230. Definitely look at the over. I like that a lot. The spread, I would take Cleveland to cover the spread. I take them to cover. I would take them to cover the spread. You can't argue that. They've been tearing it up. They've covered 4 straight. They've covered, like I said, the last 5-6 meetings, 3-2, 4-2 against the spread. They've been covering. They've been laying points. They've been covering. So they're showing. To me, they're on the ball. This team's on the ball. They're covering. They're covering spreads. Now I went from 4.5 to 5. I wouldn't be surprised if this got to 5.5. If it even gets to 5.5, I'll take Cleveland. I'll take Cleveland at 5.5. It wouldn't surprise me if it got there by tonight. I would take the Cavaliers again. Because the last meeting, it goes 3.5. This is 5.5. I take Cleveland to cover this, and I take the over. Yeah. In terms of the props, okay, props. Stephen Curry for assists, 5.5. He's gone through this. He's passed this number 4 of the last 5 times. So over 5.5 assists. That's one. I would definitely take that. Yeah, that's the one that stands out to me. The assist. I would take that. I won't talk you off of points. He's capable of lighting up the scoreboard as well. But I would look at the assists. Take a look at the assists. Now, points, 24.5 is Steph Curry as well. He's cleared this number the last 5 games 2 times out of 5 times. If the two games out of 5, he's cleared this number. So I wouldn't talk you off of that either, but I look at it as assists. That's a big one. So look at Andrew Wiggins. Let's see anything there. So Andrew Wiggins for threes. The projected number is 3.5. He's gone over this number of 3 of the last 5 times. So 3.5 for 3-pointers. I would do that. That's the big one. Yeah, I would do that. That's the best one for Wiggins. Yeah, I would definitely do that. Now another one to consider, assists and rebounds is 9.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 meetings. So I would look at that, assists and rebounds over 9.5. That's one. And like I mentioned, you can do 3-pointers. 3.5. He's cleared this number 3 of the last 5 times. So that's one. That's another one I would consider. For Mitchell. Sorry, Donovan Mitchell. I said Wiggins. It's Donovan Mitchell. Sorry about that. Donovan Mitchell. That's the one I would do. Yeah. Yes, I would do. I would go with that. That's all that stands out in this game. Nothing else really stands out for that game. For the props, that's it. Dallas, Sacramento. This is probably my least favorite game to bet on, but I'll give you the information for if you're interested in this game. I'm not really feeling this game, but if you are, the numbers show in this game minus 3.5 Sacramento. Actually, the opening number, 3.5 Sacramento. That's the opening number. Total 227.5. This has gone to the consensus here is 230. 230.5. And the number is -4. That's where it stands right now. Again, I'm not really feeling this game at all. No interest in this game. A lot of uncertainty in this game. Have head-to-head though, 6-4 against this Dallas, 4-6 against the spread. Sacramento, 3-7 to the under. That's the head-to-head. Dallas last 10 in general, 6-4, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 over/under. Sacramento last 10, 3-7, 2-8 against the spread, 5-5 over/under. I don't see anything that stands out here. If you like betting unders, they've gone under the last 5 meetings. They've gone under the total. So if you like that, I would look at the under. I would definitely look at the under. I would look at an under. under, but for the side, nothing on the side. Props. I don't really have anything for props on this. Nothing stands out here. Maybe you want to look at Kyrie Irving. That's a prop you're gonna want to look at. Yeah, it's something you're gonna want to look at if you're interested. But I have no interest here. Points, rebounds, and assists, 38.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times. So I'm sorry, points, rebounds, and assists, 38.5. He's cleared it 2 in the last 5. Points and assists, 33.5. He's cleared this number 2 of the last 5 times. That's all I would consider here. There's nothing really here that I'm seeing for this game. That's all for the NBA. NBA is done for that. Hockey, the NHL. There are only 3 games for the NHL. NHL 3 games. The Rangers versus Florida. That's tonight. This has opened up at 6. So the over-under is 6. We're seeing some 5.5s as well as 6. That's for the NHL. Let's see what I'm going to get here for this. NHL. Rangers, Florida, 6. The over-under is 6. Head-to-head, 7-3, 4-6 to the under. They played earlier this year, went under the total. They've gone under the total, these 2 teams, 4 straight times. Rangers in general, 2-8 record. Last 10, 3-7 to the under. Florida, 6-4 overall record, 2-7 to the under. The only way I would look is under 6 goals. That's the only way I would look in this game, under 6. As for the side in this game, well, Rangers have lost 3 straight. Florida has lost 2 straight. No opinion on the side. I would lean to the under 6 goals. Next game, Nashville versus Winnipeg. Totals at 6 goals. Over under 6. Head-to-head, 6-4, 4-6 to the under. Last 10 games, 4-5-1, 5-5 total. The over under 5-5. That's for Nashville. Last 10, 7-2 Winnipeg, 4-4 over under. They played a month ago. The total at that time was 6.5. It went under. And this one is 6. This one I have no opinion on this game. This game's a pass for me. No opinion on this game. I'm not seeing anything that stands out like a sore thumb. So this game's a pass. Yeah, I don't see anything here. For the side, that's for the total. For the side, okay, so Winnipeg's won 3 straight games. They've won 3 in a row. So you may, if you're looking to take Winnipeg, you may want to take Winnipeg at home. They lost in Nashville the first game. So if you're looking for a lean, I would lean Winnipeg to win the game on the money line, but that's it. That's just a lean. Nothing else for that game. Next game, Utah versus Seattle for the hockey. They have not played each other before. Yeah, they have not played each other before. This is the first meeting, Utah, Seattle. Record 6-2 and 2 last 10 games, 4-5 to the under. Utah, Seattle, 3-6-1 last 10 games, 5-4-1 to the over. let's see this game. So, hmm. Utah's lost 3 straight games. They lost 3 straight. This one's a pass as well. No opinion on this game. The only opinion, like I said, I have is Rangers Florida under 6 goals. The next 2 games, no opinion on that. So that's a pass for that. That's all for the hockey. College football. I am taking in this game. First of all, we'll get to the game. We'll break down the game here. Iowa versus Missouri. This is the bowl game in Nashville, Tennessee. That's at Nashville, Tennessee. Missouri's 2.5-point favorites. The total is 43.5 for the bowl game. The current total now is sitting at 40.5, and it's still 2.5. So it's still at 2.5. That's the current number now. We are seeing some threes that are coming up. Apparently, threes are starting to pop up here. This is what I'm seeing. I took my angle in this game. I took Iowa for me. That's my angle. I took him at the 2.5. So I got Iowa here. Because Missouri lost their center, Luther Burden, to an injury, and another receiver to injury as well, tight end Brett Norfleet. So those 2 injuries are significant injuries. So that becomes a mismatch in this game between between Iowa and Missouri. So Iowa can exploit that, and this game's decided on margins. So in a case like this, I like going with the dog because they have a slight edge in that area. So I like Iowa to cover the 2.5, although I'm a bit concerned because now the line has gone to 3. I'm seeing some threes coming up right now as we speak. So that's a bit of a concern for me as I look at the odds here. Threes are starting to pop up here a bit. And a few books. Actually, two books come up with a 3 books. Yeah, so it's starting to come up a little bit. Let's hope that the number comes back down to 2.5. We'll see. But that's my take on that. I like Iowa plus 2.5. The NFL tonight, the Detroit Lions versus at the San Francisco 49ers. This is the NFC Championship rematch. So we'll look at the odds on this one. This is a big game. Lions are open up as a 2.5-point favorite. That's a 2.5-point favorite. The line currently and they open up at 51.5. The line now is at 3.5 Detroit, and the number is sitting at 50. This is a revenge spot, clearly. So I'm taking the money line. Money line Detroit Lions. This is a revenge spot. I expect the Lions to exact some revenge on the 49ers. I would just money line this game. The total on this game, no opinion on the total as of yet. No opinion on that. I might give one out this afternoon in my best bets. I might give out a total, but nothing as of yet. Still looking into that total. But I like the Lions to win. I expect them to win this game against the San Francisco 49ers. Revenge spot. It's the only way to look. Take the money line. That's what I'm taking. That's the only way to play it for me. All right, so that's it. That's all the food for thought leans, picks, and analysis. These are just leans. I gave out one pick already. That was because this game starts 2 p.m. in the afternoon, 11 o'clock Pacific. That's the Iowa Missouri game. I'm on Iowa 2.5. That's the only game I gave out. So this afternoon when I come back here again, it'll be the picks, top picks for the NBA, the top totals, top spread, the top dog, which top dog has a chance to win outright. So I'll give all that out this afternoon. So just basically mull over and basically go over and think about the things that we talked about this morning in terms of props and picks and leans. And I'm coming back this afternoon to give you my picks and props for the games this afternoon. All right, so until then, stay true to yourself, stay blessed, stay positive, cash those tickets. Peace.